I guess it's because you don't want to get shot.
No.
Look at there's like a little hair. Do you see it?
I see it.
It's just floating right there. All right, you guys ready to go live? You ready?
Yeah,
Are you ready? We first.
Wait, did I commit to wear this the whole show?
No.
I'm not.
No.
No.
All right, here we go.
Welcome to Straight Shooting Firearms
Wait,
Talk
start
Show
over.
presented by My Gun Diary.
1 second.
Yeah, that's horrible. Terrible. Okay, first things first.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got to do the whole.
Are you recording sound?
Yes.
Okay.
Let me double check though. Yes, I am.
Okay, good.
The whole reason we hired her was for this purpose.
This was my purpose, and you're trying to take it away from me.
Yes. Okay. Right, now we're ready.
What?
Now we can go live.
Welcome to Straight Shooting Firearms Talk Show presented by MyGunDiary.com and Drake Fine Sporting Arms of El Paso. With your hosts, Felix Menor and J. Scott Drake. And now, here they are.
Welcome to episode 11 of Straight Shooting Firearms Talk Show. I'm very excited for this episode. It's all brand new here today. I am your host, Felix Menor. Alongside me, taco connoisseur, master gunsmith, owner and proprietor of Drake Fine Sporting Arms, Mr. J. Scott Drake.
Hi.
And it is with great pleasure that I introduce the newest member of the team, a woman who won hands down our extensive and exhaustive week-long worldwide search.
It was exhaustive.
It cost us a whole half an hour of time.
Right.
She is a retired captain from the Army and overall badass, which is really why you got the job. Miss Francesca Ricciuti.
Yes.
I got it right.
Ricciuti.
Let's give her a big round of applause.
Thank you.
And one of Francesca's tasks is to take care of our sponsor every week, and that is Cerakote Southwest. And tell us what's so awesome about Cerakote Southwest.
So Cerakote Southwest is an awesome sponsor because they are the only certified Cerakote Southwest applicator for firearms, and they have over 120 colors to choose from.
They do?
For their firearms and also for other accessories like the coolie that I don't see the coolie.
You know
this
what?
week, but
My coolie is MIA. I know it's at my house somewhere. I couldn't find it. Where's your coolie?
Actually, Chantel confiscated it.
oh, okay.
We still haven't, but we do have the
Yes, we do.
custom Smith & Wesson M&P that they did. Yes.
Yes.
And where can people find Cerakote Southwest?
They can go to CerakoteSW.com or they can follow on Instagram at Cerakote Southwest.
That's absolutely true.
Yes.
Yes. So thank you for our sponsor. You did a fine job. And every week you're going to be the one doing the promo from now on. Okay. And you can ad-lib it, change the words around. You have carte blanche to do whatever you want. Change the script as long as we hit the main.
That wasn't English. I don't know what that means.
Carte blanche. I think that's French.
Yeah.
Ooh la la. Okay, now, so it was an exhaustive 1 week search. You did beat out 4 other potential spokesmodels, but the reason we knew right away, even before that show was over, that you were going to be the one. That it was going to be because you are a general overall badass. Is she not?
I am.
She gets in the spirit of things. She doesn't mind giving us a hard time, and we know she's going to give our Facebook viewers a hard time. And
I hope so.
Francesca,
I don't have time.
I don't have time for that either.
Someone's got to harass them.
Right.
Francesca will be the one handling the comments on the Facebook Live, but we actually have video footage of when we told you that you were the one selected for the job. So let's play that real quick.
Would you like to join my crew?
Oh my goodness.
Would I like to? I want you on Team Zissou.
I don't think I can do that.
Why not?
Well, it's not my field. I don't have the background for it.
No one here does. Klaus used to be a bus driver. Wolodarski was a high school substitute teacher. We're a pack of strays. Don't you get it?
Best part.
Yep.
Scriptural uses these for continuity. Here.
Oh, no.
No exceptions. Everyone gets one. Anne-Marie, do the interns get Glocks?
No, they all share one.
Take it.
All of our interns get Glocks.
Yeah, and she did get a Glock as joining the team. It's amazing how much you look like Owen Wilson. I think it's the nose.
Yeah, I think so. The Italian nose.
Yeah, Owen Wilson, that's an Italian name, right?
Yeah.
All right, let me tell everybody what's on the show tonight. On the show tonight, in Guns in the News, of course, we said we were going to, and we are going to talk about the Las Vegas shooting. But what I thought would be interesting would be, rather than just the 5 W's of the Las Vegas, which you can just find online, everybody knows them already, is that we each go around and give our theory on why this guy did it. Right? You, Scott, have been hesitant. You got, come on. It's for entertainment's sake. The people want to know what your theory is and what Francesca's theory is and my theory. So we are going to dish it out tonight. That's going to be on Guns in the News. Also, you and Steve and I went out yesterday and conducted a highly scientific test to gather some data.
Actually, it was. We had counters and all kinds of things.
Yeah, it was, absolutely. It was a data gathering, a fact-finding shooting event. We went out so that we could debate whether or not a regular run-of-the-mill AR-15, just semi-automatic, not altered or modified in any way, could potentially do as much damage as one of these AR-15s that this guy used in Vegas with a bump fire stock. So that we're going to talk about that. And then in the gunsmithing job of the week, this has been the highly anticipated. The anticipation has been building, has been mushrooming, has been over the weeks. We're going to talk about
a lot of things. Apparently,
insert sad trombone.
I'll put that in the post edit.
Yeah,
a custom rifle built from what started out as a blemish muzzle brake. And of course, we're talking about the Dragon, tonight. So we took it out to shoot it. So we've got some video of that, and we're going to see just how much of a muzzle flash we were able to generate, because we were anticipating quite a bit of muzzle flash. And then in the gun of the week, now the reason why we are all wearing bulletproof vests.
Everyone's asking.
Oh, are they already?
What this getup is? Yeah.
Can I tell them?
Yeah, have at it.
My mom asked, so tell my mom.
Really? Mm-hmm. Felix got shot with a 10-gauge slug.
He got shot.
I did. I got shot by Josh.
Well, okay. Felix got shot a little bit.
I took a ricochet.
So I actually was going to make you a Purple Heart for that, but then I decided to wait to see if it actually scars, because I don't really think that.
Yeah,
it might not warrant.
It's a very small. I did. There was blood.
We were just wearing these though, just in case Josh stopped by.
Yeah, and which now he can't miss me now. I mean, that's why the reason I'm wearing fluorescent hunter colors, in case Josh, you can't miss me.
Yeah.
Right. You know what I mean? And if you do, I got the plates. All right. So that's the reason.
So we're all in safety mode just in case.
We've actually got video of the ricochet hitting me.
Do we?
Yeah, we actually do.
I haven't seen this.
And then we've got video. Now, I was not going to let that 10 gauge get the best of me. We went out yesterday. We took out the 10 gauge, and I shot some slugs because I did not want to be bested by the 10 gauge. I took a ricochet.
We need more of those so we can get more reactive targets on video. Man, that thing's impressive.
I just don't want to get shot again.
Yeah.
And then lastly, we'll close out the show by telling you what's going to be on the show next week. We were going to talk about what we all carry concealed carry, but neither one of you brought your concealed carry. I think we're not going to have time anyway, so we'll do that on next week's show.
Well, I don't reveal that kind of stuff to the people who might want to know that anyway.
Well, with that, it's time to get in the news.
This week in Firearms news and current events.
So, of course, we're talking about Las Vegas and what a sad tragedy it was. And let's let our newest member of the team start us out with what your theory is, what your take is on why that guy did what he did.
So in the casting call, I did mention that I'm a pharmacy tech instructor. So I'm coming from kind of the medical perspective here. So I'll try to say this nicely, but I just think dude was crazy.
Just out of his mind.
Dude was crazy or had a mental illness that was not diagnosed. And some of the family, I don't know the credibility of these things, but some of the family said that some said he was acting fine, but then his girlfriend said that he left him he left her right before the shooting. And as we know from our sharp suicide awareness training, giving away all your possessions, breaking up with your significant other, that could be a sign of a mental illness. We don't know.
A story I read today theorized the same thing, that he had an undiagnosed mental illness, and he, I guess, reached a point where it got the better of him, and he did what he did.
Yeah.
Scott, you ready? You want me to go next?
You go next.
All right.
Yeah.
My theory, although I am now being swayed more towards the guy was just out of his mind, but my theory is that he wanted to make some sort of a political statement by his actions. It's a long tried and true extreme left-wing or right-wing ideology or theory that if you do something significant enough, something big enough, impactful enough, that you can create the change or some sort of change that you want, either politically or ideologically. So maybe this guy, whether he was an anti-gunner at heart and thought that by doing something provocative like this, he could get people to change or get the world to change or the United States to change, he did something extremely provocative. And so, like, you know, if I go outside and I burn a car, that's a crime. But if I burn 100 cars, that is a political statement. And so that's why I think he did what he did. Ooh. Yeah? Any comment?
I mean, I understand, but I also feel like if that was something that he felt within him, that was a belief that he held true, would he have bought that many guns if he's an anti-gunner? I mean, no matter what.
I mean, there might have been something said because of the types of guns that he used. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, okay, I can understand that.
By using an AR-15 that was modified with a bump fire stock to fire faster than it normally should, to kill that many people, injure that many people, it's going to cause a conversation about the gun laws, and that's exactly what happened.
Yeah.
So that's kind of my theory. All right, the drum roll. This is the one. People.
I'm not going to get into the whole thing of what I think. I'm just going to tell you, I don't think the guy did it by himself, at least. I don't think he did it.
You got a lot of people raising their hands.
Okay, I'm just saying. I mean, I'm not going to get into all of
the particulars of what you think. You're saying, but what you're saying is whatever happened, he didn't act alone. There is a conspiracy. Is that what you're saying?
I'm not going to use that word.
I'll use the word. I'll use the word for you. Scott thinks there is a conspiracy.
Sure.
Dang, bus driver.
Right. Yeah, I know.
Everybody knows it. I mean, come on. He just said it without saying the word.
You know, I don't think he did it by himself. At least, at most,
Well, there were 2 windows broken in the room that he was in. The room that he was allegedly shooting from. So that could point to 2 shooters.
Well, I think that the room that he was shooting from, they might have. I don't know what they think that they confirmed, but basically there was a security guard who was like the first person to respond to where that room was, who got shot through the door. So there was definitely somebody in there with a gun. I don't know if that was the guy that was shooting out the window, if that was maybe the conspiracy, someone else.
The security guards aren't expendable, right?
Well, here's, for me, where it will come down to evidence of a conspiracy or more than one shooter. Now, obviously, that hotel has got a ton of cameras everywhere. Mm-hmm. If all of a sudden some of this footage goes missing or was accidentally deleted, or all of a sudden we don't have the footage from the 32nd floor, the file was corrupted, whatever the case may be, they start making excuses about how come we're not seeing video of
or
this.
Or he was a mastermind.
Yeah.
Like in the movies.
I don't think the guy was a mastermind by any means. The guy, he seemed like kind of a drunk gambler, good time guy,
The now, one of the conspiracy theories that I first read about that was kind of I'm not going to say it's far out there. It's anything's possible, but somebody put out on the internet, on Reddit or something, on some Reddit thread, that they
always reliable
that the guy who did the shooting was actually an undercover FBI informant, and this was an undercover FBI illegal arms buying sting operation went wrong, and they pinned it on him. That the guns were in the room and the ammo was in the room because there was supposed to be a transaction. This is like another Fast and Furious type of thing. And the went wrong. They did what they did, which was shoot all those people. Then they kill that guy and pin it on him.
That makes no sense.
No, because somebody did make a statement that they saw him carrying 10 bags up to his room that they're saying is what had the gun.
At once? Not at once. Certainly not at once. Well, maybe on a luggage
like
cart.
when you on a luggage cart.
So anyway, I mean, we could surmise about this, and it doesn't really matter in the end. You know what I mean? So let's just say he did what he did, or somebody did what happened. Whatever. Yeah. But anyway, it's over, and thank God all of the people are on the ground to help and get everybody out of the way, because it could have been a whole lot worse, man.
Now, one of the things I'm looking forward to with Guns in the News as we go forward is Francesca, in our group chat that we set up, is she was talking about highlighting positive stories in the news.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
The viewers are actually asking for a little bit of a highlight from a first responders, and that was something that I looked into, being a medical professional.
So do you have anything you can give us about something you know from first responders at that particular incident? Do you know anything?
So there was a lot of stories about individuals that helped out in ways like one couple was driving in the area, and as they started evacuating and triaging patients, they were moving them out towards the road so that ambulances could get in. But since there were so many injured, the ambulances were getting full, and there was a couple who turned their pickup truck into an ambulance, basically. So they got one of the folding tables from a vendor that was near the area, folded up the legs, turned it into a litter. And then there was another man who there's a lot of stories about him. His name is Jonathan Smith. He actually was there with his family. He, tried to get his family out of the area, and they got separated. And when he turned around to try to find his family, he noticed there were a lot of people in shock. There were some people that were injured, that were not moving, and they weren't thinking clearly. So he started helping get people out of the way and evacuated. And during that time, he actually got shot twice. Once in the arm and once in the neck.
And I think for me, now that we're talking about these positive stories, that's really the takeaway from this, is that stuff is going to happen in the world.
Yeah.
We've been going back and forth, is that there are no laws that are going to prevent somebody from doing this.
What are you going to do, man? And
so I think what really matters is that the human spirit, the people that are out there helping when something goes wrong, that there were more of those stories than there are bad stories.
And we saw it with the natural disasters down on the coast in Texas. I mean, Americans come together.
Yeah. So real quick, we'll get to this video that we did, and we'll just move on. So what we did was we took out a couple of AR-15s, and we shot 60 rounds with a magazine change. Turn right down with it. We shot a total of 60 rounds, myself, Scott, and Steve, and we timed it to see how many rounds we could put through an AR-15 in semi-automatic. And this is Scott, and Scott did it in 17 seconds. Yep. And then I went after Scott, and here we just get a little bit of slow motion. I don't show the whole thing.
You can see I was going nuts, man. I was just trigger slapping. I didn't care.
Yeah. So 17 seconds is what you did 60 rounds. And then I went next, and I was able to do it in 32 seconds because I had a little trouble with the magazine change. But that's kind of realistic. Your magazine changes aren't always going to be smooth.
Right.
And then Steve went last, and he also did it in about 17 seconds, although by a couple of hundredths of a second or tenths of a second, you were quicker, yeah?
I don't want to toot my own horn, but I think I was 17.26 and Steven was 17.31.
Okay. 4 100ths of a second faster.
Yeah.
So here's my high-speed magazine change. Boop.
I haven't seen this yet.
And then I put it in slow motion right here for you, the magazine change.
So there we go.
That's why it took me 32 seconds. Yeah. And let's go quickly to our fast shooter, Steve. Jump ahead here. Yep, Steve's coming up here. But basically what we surmised is even a slow shooter with a bad magazine change like myself could get 1,200 rounds downrange in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, even if you get tired, that's a lot of rounds. If you're firing into a crowd of that many people, doesn't matter if you have a bump fire stock or a semi-automatic, you're going to put a lot of lead down range and cause some major damage. All right, here goes our quick shooter, Steve. Actually, you were the quickest shooter. What am I saying? Yeah.
I wasn't tooting my own horn.
Look, he did a pretty quick. I bet if we timed just the magazine change, he had you beat. Yeah. Yeah. And so that's all we wanted to show, is just a bit of how fast you can actually shoot a semi-automatic. And if you're, what's that guy's name? Gary Michaluk? Michaluk? That guy can shoot super fast semi-automatic.
Yeah, they're gonna make him illegal.
That's what you're gonna have to do.
Just him.
Right.
And then if you can jimmy rig an AR-15 with a rubber band. I've seen some people, you put a rubber band behind the trigger, and it'll give you a kind of a bump fire type of jimmy rig,
I don't think
Whatever.
I've ever seen that.
I'll send you a picture. I saw it online.
I do real gunsmithing. I don't do things like that.
Hey, and then the last thing I want to show you is real quick. So look, I don't care what side the different news websites take on any issue. What I care about is the lack of integrity in journalism.
No,
all right?
the sheer amount of misinformation that's come out of this is
And that's why we
pretty
couldn't talk about it
overwhelming.
last week.
Yeah.
Right.
Now, I understand it's their job as a TV channel to get ratings. Okay, they got to get ratings. But in the news, people are counting on journalistic integrity. And that's what upsets me about how the news coverage has been about this thing, because they've politicized it for either the left or the right or whatever they want to do. Mm-hmm. But then they take it as far as, they on CNN, they show an animation. We're going to show it here momentarily.
It's awful.
It's awful. They show it of an AR-15. They want to show how a bump fire stock works. The animation, as you'll see, doesn't even have a bump fire stock, yet the animation of the AR-15 has a grenade launcher on it and a silencer on it. There we go. Any day now. There we go.
Is what the NRA is saying. The ATF needs to go back and reconsider, and that, I'm told, is the preferred route for Republican leadership. That is very wary of
no bump fire stock.
Kind of toxic.
That's a regular stock.
It's not on their agenda, and very concerned about what that might mean going forward. But it's worth noting, Senator Dianne Feinstein, Democrat in the Senate, who is
yeah,
just ugh.
It doesn't mean look. The look on his face says it all. You know what I mean?
That says I'm a turd, actually.
But what is this? What are they communicating to the general public who's unaware and not knowledgeable? Like
Exactly.
they're going to scare the crap out of everybody
Yeah.
and think that everyone's got grenade launchers and silencers or suppressors. You know what I mean? So
Do you not?
I don't know. What do I want that stuff for?
I don't even have one, man.
I just like to go out and shoot paper targets.
I had to borrow an AR out of my store to go and shoot it the other day.
All right, let's move on with our gun of the week.
Oh, I should do stuff.
Oh yeah, you got the 10 gauge. So we were talking about the 10 gauge, which
I
is
might have to stand up.
the reason. Hey, real quick, let's check in. How's it going on the Facebook comments over there? People seem to be interacting and getting some.
So shout outs for your magazine change.
Okay, awesome. Yeah. Whoop whoop.
They're making the news scary for effect.
Yeah.
Just in interest of their political beliefs. And someone's bringing you a lot of money tomorrow, Scott.
Oh, what about the rest of us?
Here we go.
How about
Okay.
bring
We
some
all
money for
want
us?
some money.
I'll be
Good
here.
for
What
you.
time you coming?
Hey, the gun of the week is the reason for the vest, the plate carrier vest with plates that are in here.
This is what Felix got shot by.
I did, and so tell us just a bit about this gun before we show the footage of me getting hit with the ricochet.
Yeah, so this is a Zabala 10 gauge. It comes out of Spain. They were pretty popular in the 70s, 60s, 70s.
What does something like that cost for starters?
These guns are not super expensive, man. I put this in the $600 to $800 range.
Really?
Yeah.
Bad.
Now, when I shot it yesterday for the first time, because I got shot by it, and then I shot it because I didn't want it to get the best of me. I wanted to get the best of it. But I was thinking to myself, like, who would want a 10 gauge? 12 gauge, seems plenty big. But why would somebody want a 10 gauge shotgun?
I have two now. This is number 2.
Oh, this is your personal?
Well,
okay.
it's in my store.
You're tempted to not put it a sale tag on it.
We might start a collection. Is all I'm saying.
But why would somebody want a 10 gauge over a 12 gauge?
Back in the old days before we had modern powders and things like that, we didn't have the 12 gauge magnums like we have now. You had the regular, 2.5, 2 3/4 12 gauge shells. But even before they popularized the 12 gauges and the smaller bore shotguns, these were the goose and turkey and duck guns of the day.
So the 10 gauge was sort of the 12 gauge of the day. Was the standard round, would you say, like for a shotgun?
For the old days, yeah. I mean, you had even 8 gauge and 4.
Holy
Wow.
cow!
4 gauge back in the old days. Even the 2 gauge punt guns and things like that. I mean, this was, you had to lob a lot of lead, and you were using less effective powders back in those days. So
I had no idea.
it's kind of a progression thing.
Yeah.
I mean, now we've got the 12 gauge magnums that kind of take the place of the 10 gauge.
Yeah.
We don't really need.
Well, it's got a heck of a kick. Did you shoot it the night you came out shooting with us?
No, thank you.
Yeah, it's got a heck of a kick. But we were out shooting it. Josh put a round down range.
Mm-hmm.
The range ricocheted and hit me. And now just every time I hear the door open, I'm making sure it's not Josh. You know what I'm saying? I just gotta keep my head down,
Yeah,
keep my
right.
head low.
Yeah.
But if he does come in, I'm good to go, and he can clearly see me, so he can't say it was a mistake. But we do have footage of me taking the ricochet.
Let's get this out of the way then.
Yeah. Scott, you're going to want to see this. Here we go. There it is right there. Yeah. It's amazing how much I look like the actor Damian Lewis.
You do a lot.
Yeah.
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 Thank God I was there to pull that out for you too.
Yeah, absolutely. That was really, really traumatizing. So, yeah, we got to always have cameras rolling. You never know what you're going to get.
I don't want to embarrass you, but so
but I will.
So Felix is setting up the camera, right? I'm gonna go through the whole thing.
Okay.
As Felix is off to the side setting up the camera.
Before you will describe it, but I just want to set the tone. Is we were running late because you got out of the shop late. So I was kind of moving around real quick, setting up cameras, right, trying to get everything going. We were losing light. We were trying to get this done. Everything was in a big commotion, right? All right. So.
Okay. So and then Josh is we're just trying to get this thing shot because everybody wants to shoot it. So Josh shoots and I'm halfway joking. We had set up an AR-500 plate, and I was joking with Josh. I was like, yeah, see what it does to the plate. And I kind of laughed. Josh shot the plate, man, at like 30 meters. And
about 30 meters.
So the plate goes flying over the hill. It's gone, man. It's not even in sight because it was on top of a hill. It's disappeared now.
Yeah.
And then immediately Felix screams, I'm hit! I'm hit!
What?
Something's burning, it's hot! That's what we hear.
And I've never hung out with any of these people before, so I'm like in the middle of the chaos, just like, where have I found myself? This is so scary.
Yeah.
So
what did these people do?
Immediately I think that Felix is taking like, he's like bleeding out,
An
man.
actual round.
So
well, now look, when you get hit with a ricochet or a bullet, I don't know if anyone else here has ever been shot. I have. What stands out is the heat. You feel the heat of it, and so it hit me in the upper right arm. I feel the heat. I know I'm hit by something. Like I didn't know it was a piece of the slug or a piece of metal or something. and what happens? It's such a quick happening event. Your mind's scrambling. I didn't even remember that I said I'm hit. I'm hit. Like
you definitely said that.
Yeah, you were like I'll act it out. That's what you're doing.
Basically it.
Is that really how it was?
That's really what you were doing.
Now I'm not. But look, I was not about to let the 10 gauge get the best of me. We went out yesterday.
You showed it.
Yeah,
we showed it.
We went out
A
yesterday.
2 days later, but you showed it.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm supposed to bleep that out.
Yeah.
I beeped out that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know you see in slow motion exactly what that can do. Now that was that was a book. Let's show that again. Let me go back a little further. That is like some bottles, a book. There was cinder block.
Cinder block behind it. Yeah.
Yeah.
The cinder block's gone.
Yeah, just shred. That's what a 10 gauge will do. And so, but I was not about to let it get the best of me.
We'll get some more footage of the 10 gauge shooting stuff with it, man. You got to see what it does to like a 2-liter bottle. It vaporizes, man. It doesn't splash out. It vaporizes. It turns to mist. It disintegrates.
So we do have one question from viewers. Sorry,
yes.
Felix. So if you could, Scott, compare a 10 gauge shell to a 12 gauge shell, much different? Or
it's pretty significant, man. With the 2 shots that I shot,
Yeah.
I actually handed it off to Steven because it tweaked my neck so bad.
In the post edit on the YouTube version of the show, I'll show a side by side of a 12 gauge and a 10 gauge shell.
Well,
so
just to give you a scale, 12 gauge slugs, we all know they're like 1 ounce,
Right.
usually something like that. This 10 gauge slugs is 1 3/4 ounce, and it's moving about 1,250 feet a second.
Yeah.
Wow.
I got very familiar with it.
Yeah, you did.
All right, let's move on to our gunsmithing job of the
He caught
week.
a 1/14 of an ounce.
It's time for the gunsmithing job of the week.
Hey, that's right, everybody. The highly anticipated premiere of what we're calling the Dragon, and I made a special video introduction. Actually, I had my guy make it, which is another
Tell
story.
the story about your guy.
So,
you know what? We're running out of time.
no,
man.
we're good. We're good. Quickly, it's going well. Quickly, I have a guy that I use that helps me with these 3D animations, the video introductions, this stuff for the show. And I have another guy that does helps me with some web design stuff. I hire out for these guys. They're overseas somewhere. And so I accidentally sent the wrong guy a request for this dragon animation. And like I sent it to the wrong guy. He didn't complain. He doesn't know that he's just, I could just imagine being on his
end.
This
guy doesn't even do graphics.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't do this sort of thing. I'm just like, hey, can you do this like Asian inspired, dragon thing, And he sent it to me without a complaint or anything. And then just today I was trying to find it, and I was searching the email address of the other guy who actually does it, and I couldn't find this animation. That's when I realized I sent it to the wrong guy.
This poor guy, that's not even his job, made an animation for this.
Yeah. So here we go.
Oh, he actually made it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So it's time to do the unveiling of the dragon. Drake's dragon it is. And so we've got some video that'll be playing here. There we go.
Oh, what's going on?
So as you'll see in the video as you're watching, we'll comment as we go along. This started out as an experiment. Did it not, Scott? It started out...
I haven't seen this video yet, so...
Well, what I did, there's some freeze frames, as you'll see in there. We all took turns shooting it. Francesca shot it as well. I shot it. Steve shot it as well. And we did get some fire, but it was more like sparks.
Sparks, yeah. I think we're going to have to start calling it Sparky.
Sparky or Francesca?
Lizard.
The lizard.
The lizard,
yeah.
Yep. Instead of the dragon, it was more like a lizard. And Francesca came up with that one.
We'll take votes. I'll take votes.
Take votes, yeah. Can we get it online?
Everyone's got to like lizard. So behind me, what you see now, here's a regular M44, and you'll see the muzzle blast.
Pretty good fireball.
Coming out. And then Francesca and Steve, here in a moment, you'll see they lined up side by side and shot the lizard and a regular M44. And so here's a freeze frame of a regular M44, pretty significant blast. You thought we would get much more out of.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
So I think my theory is that the way that it disperses when it comes out, it actually kind of acts more like a flash hider. Disperses the blast.
Yeah, so
and then
here's a freeze frame of, here's the side-by-side.
Okay.
As well, and then you get a good comparison. So which one is Steve shooting the dragon, aka lizard? And there's just no comparison. So, but it was a great experiment. I think it was worthwhile, worth time. It looks awesome.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, that actually looks pretty cool, man.
Yeah.
I gotta say, it's throwing sparks and doing all kinds of stuff. But
I like the pattern in it.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's show the live audience members and our Facebook viewers at home.
Yeah.
So
there it is. This whole rifle was built around this muzzle brake, which was a screw up not a screw up. I won't say screw up. It was a very neat effort on the part of my guys who do my muzzle brake blanks, and they thought it would be a cool design. So anyway, we built this whole rifle around that because they actually ported the ports forward. So we thought we would try to do something with it. So anyway, this whole rifle was built around that.
But you did more than that. You did it like a special fire bluing on the magazine, which looks awesome.
Yeah, we spruced it up pretty good, man.
You did some work on the trigger as well?
No, not yet. No, it needs a Timney trigger. I'm going to put one in there.
The trigger felt great, but then that custom stock is beautiful. You had that stock custom made.
Yeah, we did for this gun.
Yeah. Now, is this something that you're going to have in stock here and maybe put a price tag on it?
Yeah, I'll throw it out for sale, man. I'm going to change out the muzzle brake on it, and then we'll throw it out for sale.
All right.
Some lucky customer can come by and pick this up if they want it.
There you go. They'll see footage of it. And then I was entertaining. I have an extra M44 as well.
Well, what you can't see is that the way that these ports are cut through this, it actually made the metal so thin that it deformed after shooting a few rounds.
Yeah.
So, they actually got the metal too thin. So I'm going to change this muzzle brake out. We'll toss it in the trash or throw it.
Put a regular muzzle brake on it.
We'll put a regular muzzle brake on it, and then we'll get rid of the.
All right.
We'll get rid of that one.
Hey, the show is going great. It's awesome to have our new addition, our new team member Francesca Ricciuti on the show, and so she will be doing the Cerakote promo and handling the Facebook. But she's also going to tell us every week what's going to be on next week's show.
Right.
Episode 12. So why don't you tell us what's going to be on next week's show?
So next week for Guns in the News, we're going to talk about a viral video, the Stop Lacking Challenge.
Okay, so this was on Twitter. I don't know if you guys have heard of this. It's called the Stop Lacking Challenge. It is some like thug type guy, gangbanger type guy that's videotaping himself with his gun drawn and walking up to other people, some people he knows, some people he doesn't know, to see if they have their guns on them and if they're ready to take on somebody that's got a gun. Even if it's staged, it's stupid because he's got a fully loaded gun.
Yeah.
So that's one. All right, what else are we going to talk about next week?
Then there's also a video of a man pulling a gun on a teenager in a subway.
Right. Oh, so this video is a guy with his spouse and child, and they've got a young African-American guy behind them with his hoodie on, and the guy who's at the subway in front of the young guy pulls out his gun because nobody knows why. He's scared. Like, he's scared of this young guy behind him wasn't doing anything. Not armed, nothing, just wants a sandwich. Gets a gun pulled on him. We're going to see that video next week.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah. And then what else? One last thing.
So we are also going to follow Felix next week for Gunsmithing Job of the Week. Felix is going to continue to learn more about what it takes to be a gunsmith, and he is going to attempt to install night sights on his Smith & Wesson M&P.
That's right. Steve's going to teach me how to install night sights on a Smith & Wesson M&P, and it's almost identical to the Cerakote Southwest custom Smith & M&P, but
this is the other one that you did the trigger on, right?
Right, because this one, the Cerakote Southwest M&P, I don't want to shoot it. It's our show gun, right? Yeah. This other one, I take it out and shoot it, which is why I'm doing these improvements. So, yeah, we got that and much, much more as always. So we want to thank everybody for joining us for another great episode. That's episode.
It was a great episode. We ran over a little bit, but we're good.
And just to close out, vote was on lizard.
Lizard.
So it is the lizard.
All right, what's the Spanish word for lizard?
Wait, I think I think Josh said lagartija. Yeah, somebody said that.
Yeah. Oh.
Well, yeah?
Yeah, maybe we'll do the Spanish word on.
Okay.
Hey, we're going to close out the show by watching Scott eat a taco.
Do we have one?
Yeah. Thanks for watching, everybody.
Did someone specific request the 4570? He's got something that shoots 4570?
Stay tuned for the next episode of Straight Shooting when we take another shot.